Imagine, right? You're entrusting a loved one to, like, a care facility.
Mm-hmm.
You want the best for them, obviously. Like, that means it's not just medical stuff. It's about human connection.
Yeah.
And then what if the whole system is, like, full of these hidden costs? Stuff that makes it harder to give good care.
And that's what's interesting, right? You call them hidden because most people, they only see the cost, like the dollar amount.
Exactly.
But it's the stuff you don't see.
Right, exactly.
That really impacts what care is actually like.
And we're not just talking, theoretically here.
Yeah.
One of the reports, I think it was titled Pasted Text, had some wine stats.
Okay.
It said nurses can spend, get this, 25% of their day just on paperwork.
Wow.
So think about it. If you've got 20 nurses, that's 5 full-time people gone every day.
Right.
But not because they're not there, because they're drowning in documentation.
And it's such a shame, right? Because think of what those 5 nurses could do if they even had, like, half that time back.
Right.
A chat with a resident who needs it or noticing something's off before it's an emergency. That's care debt. You can't, like, write down on a form,
It's that difference between, like, clinical and caring.
Exactly.
And then it hits their morale.
Right.
Right. If you're constantly behind, it's tasks, not people.
Totally.
And that impacts the whole vibe.
Yeah. And that's how you get high turnover, trouble hiring good people. It's a cycle.
Mm-hmm. Makes it harder to attract and keep. Yeah.
And that brings us to the workflow. See, that's not just one task. It's the whole system.
Right. How it all fits or doesn't.
Yeah. Right. And one study you sent said 20% productivity loss just from that inefficiency.
Wow, 20%. That's huge.
Huge.
I bet that translates to straight up dollar losses, too.
Oh, for sure.
There was, a white paper on optimizing care.
Yeah.
Said facilities could save, on average, $250,000 per year just by being more efficient.
Per year.
Yeah, that's $250,000. Imagine putting that towards, like, better equipment, training, heck, even just making the place nicer.
And that's what's exciting, right? Because tech can play a part here.
Okay.
Not replacing people, but, like, what if AI could analyze those bad workflows, find the bottlenecks, suggest solutions for that specific place?
So it's about, like, working smarter, not just throwing money at it.
Exactly.
But I mean, even with the best tech, you still get miscommunication.
Oh, for sure.
And in healthcare, that's not just, like, annoying, it's scary.
Absolutely.
One source, I think, is the Journal of Patient Safety.
Okay.
Said 70%, 70, of serious medical errors come from communication breakdowns.
It makes you think, you're trusting your loved one's well-being to this system, but there's that risk just from a message not getting through.
And it shows it's not just numbers on a page, right?
Right.
It's people's lives we're talking about.
Exactly.
So, okay, we've established these hidden costs are huge, but what do we do about them?
That's the big question.
That's what we got to dig into as this deep dive keeps going.
And that's where we got to go, right? From seeing the problem to, like, what do we do?
So solutions. But before the specifics, is there, like, one thing that fixes it, or is it a whole different way of thinking about care?
I think you're right. It's not one thing. It's more like a change in the whole approach, starting with we got to see time as, like, the most valuable thing here. Because every minute a caregiver's stuck on some clunky process, that's a minute they're not with a resident,
So it's optimizing for that connection, not just the cost. Like,
right.
One article, I think it was on healthcare innovation, it mentioned this intelligent automation. What's that even mean in this world?
Okay, picture this. A nurse is going to update everyone on a resident. Instead of, like, pages of notes, they talk to a device, it types it up live, goes right into the system, secure and all.
Okay, that's cool. But isn't that tech, like, super pricey? Especially for smaller places.
People think that, but while, yeah, there's upfront costs, a lot of these things, they save money long term.
Right.
Like, take those medication dispensing systems, the automated ones.
Yeah.
Fewer errors, which is good for residents, obviously.
Right, yeah.
But it also means less waste, less need for, like, expensive fixes later on.
It's that whole ounce of prevention thing, right?
Exactly.
But we can't just throw tech at it, can we? There's the people side, too.
100%. And one study on employee engagement, I think, found 30%, almost a third, of healthcare workers felt their job was, like, too much busy work.
Yeah.
Redundant tasks. Imagine how demotivating.
And how easy it is to make a mistake then when you're just, like, on autopilot.
Exactly. So how do we fix that? Training, more say in how they work. Both.
Right.
Giving staff the tools to really use their skills, that's key.
Yeah.
Like, say you've got a CNA super good at spotting those early signs of like agitation in dementia patients. Valuable. Instead of them doing paperwork someone else could do, what if they led activities for those residents, tailored to their needs?
Makes them feel good, frees up others. It's win-win.
Exactly.
One thing that stuck out from the stuff you sent was how important data is.
Oh, huge.
Having it be right and easy to get to.
It's a hidden cost. Most people don't think about bad data.
Really?
Oh, yeah. There was a stat, an industry report said it costs organizations on average, get this, $15 million per year.
No way. Just from, like, messy data.
Yeah, and it's not just the money. When info is all over the place, wrong, hard to find, care suffers.
Like trying to do a puzzle where half the pieces are missing and the other half are faded.
That's a great way to put it.
You never get the full picture.
And think about it, a new resident's coming in, right? If the system's good, their history, meds, allergies, even what they like, it's all right there for the staff.
Makes a difference, feeling like a person, not a file.
Huge difference.
Which kind of makes me think about onboarding, getting new hires up to speed well. Must be huge in this field.
Oh, it's make or break those first few weeks, especially in long-term care.
Yeah.
But so often it's an afterthought, like check the box instead of this is an investment.
And we end up like paying for that later on.
Right.
More mistakes, staff feeling down, people leaving left and right.
It's the opposite of what you want, but a good onboarding, that's different.
Right.
Imagine online courses, sure, but also like practice scenarios, maybe even those VR things where they can try stuff out safely.
Oh, like a dress rehearsal before the real deal?
Exactly, because that confidence, it matters. They're less likely to burn out, more likely to stay, and that means better care in the end.
It all connects. So it sounds like the common thread here is tech helps, but it's not replacing that human touch. Is that fair to say?
Couldn't have said it better myself. Like, tech can crunch numbers, make things faster, even do some tasks, but it's people that make care happen.
Right.
That nurse who learns about the resident's life, the aide who sees someone's lonely, the social worker going above and beyond, that's what makes it more than just a job.
It's about making a system that's both like efficient and caring, knowing they go together.
100%. And everyone wins then. Residents, staff, even the families who are trusting us with their loved ones.
Speaking of which, one thing that really hit home from these materials was it's not just about making people live longer, but making those lives good.
Yeah, it's a whole different way of seeing it.
What if, instead of just medical stuff, we focused on, like, quality of life?
Yeah.
Making people feel valued, part of things.
That, to me, is what success looks like.
Absolutely. And that takes seeing beyond the budget, right? Recognizing that connection, it's valuable too.
For sure.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm feeling hopeful, but also like we got to get moving. We see the issues. We see what can be done. But what are we actually going to do?
That's the question, isn't it? And not just for like the experts or the tech people, but all of us, because this isn't just about long-term care. It's about how we treat each other as we get older.
It's about how we want to be treated, right?
Exactly. It's about building a world where getting older doesn't mean being forgotten.
Yeah.
That's what I believe in, and I think we can do it together.
A future where all this, the tech, the data, it's all to help us be more human, more caring. That's powerful. Thanks for joining me in this one. It's given me a lot to think about.